Alright, getting ready to brew Penetration Double IPA, which is a Pliny clone. First rule of home brewing is sanitation. It cannot be too clean. So washed it with some dish soap, and then after cleaning you have to sanitize it with iodine. So this is the brewing bucket, which we're not going to get to yet, but this is the most important thing that needs to be clean and sanitized. Any little bacteria or dust particles inside there can ruin your whole batch, so this thing's really important that it needs to be clean. 5-gallon bucket pretty much with an airtight lid and a little stick on the bottom for bottling after you're done. This thing right here is kind of like a blow-off valve with all that yeast and fermentation. It's going to be bubbling like crazy, so I've kind of rigged it up with this hose, which I attached to a 1-gallon milk jug with some water in there, so it's able to rock and roll and get some bubbles going during the fermentation. So that's the first rule of homebrew, which is clean and sanitary. Can't stress that enough. Second rule is pretty much have to have something to drink while you're homebrewing. So yeah, this is a Dunkelweizen, pretty good. Okay, let me introduce you to the ingredients of this particular kit. It's the extract kit, which is pretty much for the novice, like I am. This is my third time. I guess the advanced would be an all-grain kit, which you're using the malt sugars from the grains themselves rather than malt extract. So it's pretty easy. If you can follow a recipe, you can brew your own beer. These are the grains, which you're going to be putting into excuse me, a bag, basically like a muslin bag, like a cheesecloth almost. It's just like a giant tea bag. So you're going to be boiling that. Then you have your different types of hops, which you're going to put in at different times, which you'll see later. And then these are the dry hops. It's just a double IPA. You're going to add these into the bottling bucket after fermentation, which should be about a week. So after that valve stops rocking and rolling after about a week. And it's a windy motherfucking day. Damn it. Shit's blowing everywhere. This is the yeast, which you're going to add. It's called pitching the yeast. You put the yeast in after you're done brewing the wort, which is the boil, and you put it in the bottling bucket. This is what you're going to add right before you're done, and this is what turns it into from a basic sugar grain tea into alcohol. The yeast is eating the sugar and turning it into alcohol and fermenting. This I've never seen before. I think this is kind of like a substitute for Irish moss, which you put in at a certain stage of the boil to kind of, I guess this is like coagulates and clarifies the beer, which is pretty cool. But I'm gonna stash this so it doesn't blow away. This is the malt extract. This is pretty heavy, about 3 pounds. This is a liquid malt extract. It looks like molasses. And this is the powder malt extract. So it's basically just a shitload of sugar for the yeast to eat. This is the priming sugar, which we're not going to use. This is at bottling after 2 or 3 weeks after you're done fermenting and you're ready to bottle. You're going to put the sugar into some water and boil it and add it into your bucket to create the carbonation. 5 gallons of purified water is what you're going to be using. And here is the rig, so it doesn't smell up the house, which my wife I'm sure would complain about. It's your brew kettle and propane thing, and this is kind of like a hot air balloon blaster looking thing, outdoor stove. So I'm going to go ahead and add my water and get ready to start boiling, so I'll see you in a minute.